Hello, folks. You're listening to WPVM 103.7 FM in Asheville. You can listen to us online at WPVMFM.org. I am Abby the Spoon Lady, and we are doing a special edition of Busker broadcast because we have a lady that is about to leave town, and we had to catch her right away. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I would. I am Anna Christie.
Hello.
How you doing?
How long you been in town?
Since Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
And what have you been thinking about busking here?
Say it again?
What have you been thinking about busking here?
Well, yesterday, I'm pretty much thinking that I wish I had started doing it earlier in my visit. I did it yesterday for the first time and was very pleasantly surprised by how accepting everybody was of the busking culture here. Kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, huh?
Cool.
Yeah, and the fact that it's so open kind of, opens the door for a lot of really, really awesome talent to come through and for a lot of folks to be able to share and for folks to be able to experience new things. Which is why, we're hoping to keep things permit-free and open and unrestricted as much as possible. Because otherwise, that flow gets suffocated. And, you don't see as much awesome. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome is what we want. So how long have you been busking? You were talking about busking in some other cities?
Well, yeah, I started busking. Busking has been like an on and off relationship in my life for the past, I guess, let's see, what am I? I'll be 30 in like a couple days. Cool. 3 days.
Awesome. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I started busking when I was 21. So over the past 9 years, I've done it like as a full-time job. I started in Edinburgh. I went to Scotland, went to the Fringe Festival there in Edinburgh, and it's like one of the, they have the Royal Miles closed off, and it's one of the most amazing busking situations. It's just people from all over the world that come, and it's not just music, it's magic and circus, and
yeah,
and it's just incredible. So pretty much I went there and was like, oh, you mean you can make money on the street doing your art?
Oh. Yeah, and it's kind of silly how that's perceived in some cities, like how the attitudes change so much from landscape to landscape. Because in some cities, they don't consider art or magic or being a magician or a human statue mm-hmm. or even a street performer playing music as a viable profession.
Mm-hmm.
It's not valid.
No.
You're a street performer, so you looking for a job?
Right, exactly. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but the truth is it is a valid profession, and there are professional street performers. Mm-hmm. And like me, myself, and I, my entire existence is completely based off of the kindness of others. Mm-hmm. Completely based off of tips that I do not ask anybody for.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Well, New York, what...
Oh, yeah.
What are the differences?
Well, it's all underground for the most part. I mean, that's what I did. Strictly was just the train stations.
Subways.
So it's a lot unhealthier because you're down there breathing in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool because people are waiting for trains.
Yeah.
And they're on their way to work mostly. And they're on their way to very important obligations, and they're running late, and they have to wait. So it makes, you can, see people just mellow out and decide, oh, it's cool, the train's coming, and this person's singing a song. And I don't know, it's definitely, I feel like it's very appreciated there also. Yeah. because people are waiting, and it's like something to occupy their time.
For the subway system, do they schedule you a spot, or do they let you move around?
Well, I guess there's like the whole unwritten code, or like.
So you have your own unwritten code there, as we do here.
I mean, when I was playing there, it was very much so. It's like, if you're in town or whoever is there, it's like there's kind of a schedule that kind of makes itself, like, you're there at a certain time, and then usually it's the same guy that's coming at us, like, after you, and but there is also the MTA
right.
Busker program where you can actually audition, which I have auditioned before, and I didn't make it. I was a little sad, but you can audition, and then they will give you a banner that says your name and that you're an official MTA artist, and you can be amplified. You can't be amplified otherwise. And also they give you slots at, like, the best places, like Union Square, and yeah. And that's pretty cool because, you just watch those buskers, dollars just...
How does it make you feel if you want to play those spots?
I also feel like in here there's it's a bummer, I guess. Like, like if you go, like, I've definitely had experiences because I didn't actually live in New York City. I lived in Philadelphia,
mm-hmm.
so I would be commuting, and I would stay with friends for maybe 2 weeks at a time, and I would just play the subways every day. But it's definitely like if you go and you're maybe even depending on a spot and it's not available, and then you go to the other spots and then they're taken, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, my timing is so off today, like all the spots are taken, it's too late, but it's also cool because there's the option of busking at nighttime, because it's a 24-hour thing.
Yeah, here the ordinance for buskers is 10 p.m. if anyone's curious as to what that ordinance is. And we're not supposed to start until 9 in the morning either. So no early morning busking. I think for but the truth is I think for the early morning stuff, as long as no one's complaining, and I do not in any way, shape, or form urge anybody to come out and do such things as playing spoons before 9 in the morning, because, I know better. Somebody would kill me.
Yeah.
I just don't do that. But if you were, like, say, a dulcimer player or something of that sort, then I feel like it might be appropriate for the coffee crowd.
Mm-hmm.
But it is ordinance, so law is law.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that.
I have to say that.
Well, I do, because working with the Asheville Buskers collective,
right?
Setting a good example is really, really important.
Absolutely.
So a lot of that has to do with minding other people's space and realizing your own volume and
mm-hmm.
where you are in conjunction to your peers.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other cities, things end up being a lot more competitive. Folks setting up on top of other people, or,
Right.
Yeah. And louder.
Yeah.
And louder and louder.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of, like, it's really just about respect. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, like, unsaid, unwritten rules amongst buskers where it's just like, yo, man, like, you're right next to me and you're really loud, that's not cool. Yeah, and here, this is a real small town, so there's certain things that just aren't appropriate, like, bringing out an entire PA system mm-hmm. isn't exactly appropriate for Asheville, mm-hmm.
and sets a pretty bad example.
Mm-hmm.
And, so for those of you who are amplified, it is extremely important to keep your volume down, not only for the buskers around you, but so that we can continue to have amplified instruments mm-hmm. without further restrictions. If things get out of control, restrictions and or laws can happen, and that's not what we want.
Mm-hmm.
We want more and more. We want people to be able to express their creative ideas without having to worry about what they can and cannot do.
Yeah. It was really cool yesterday, my first time busking in Asheville. Actually, is that true? Yeah, I think that's true. first time. It was cool because it was my brother introduced me to the person he works for, business owner.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, I forget the name of the business, but it'd be cool if I could give him a shout out. It's the T-shirt company.
Lexington?
Lexington, and also like right over here on the corner across the street from the park. What is it?
Spiritex?
Yeah, Spiritex. And so my brother introduced me to him and was like, oh, you have to hear my sister sing, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, why don't you just go busk in the front of the business, you know? And I was like, you're a business owner and you're asking me to busk in front of your store? Usually it's like not the case, you know? People are like, you know, you're crowding my corner. So it was really, that was cool. It's like he owned the business and asked me to play.
Yeah. That is cool. It's you know, and that being said, it's really, really important for business owners to be consistent too. You know what I mean? And you know, either it is okay or it isn't okay for you to be in front of the business or in front of windows. You know, that way folks know where they can and cannot be. That's extremely important. Woolworths is also is a really good spot. They really love buskers, and they're really, really kind to buskers, and they enjoy the crowds kind of crowding around and looking into their windows. And it's great, you know, because it increases business and flow there. And so people coming into town, they say, oh, well, the good musicians hang out in front of Woolworths, you know, and so there they are going to Woolworths. That's their place. And it's neat how street performing does bring business. And yeah, but still somehow a lot of folks are like, oh, but they're making money.
Right.
That's not.
I feel like there's also like a perception of like, it's like there's a perception of street performing where I feel like some people feel like it's as if you are begging for money, that you are, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of, I've had a lot of interesting experiences, very positive, and I've had a lot of negative experiences as well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing, you know, being a musician, being a practiced musician takes time and skill. It's when you hire a musician for your event or whatever, you are hiring a skilled labor. That's a skilled laborer right there. And it goes the same for buskers. If you take a busker and you stick them on stage, it doesn't mean that they're a busker on stage. It means that they are a musician.
Yes.
And that's the thing that folks need to realize, is that there's nothing about being a busker that is necessarily negative. You know, all that means is that every now and then you play outside. You know, and more kids should be playing outside anyway.
Oh yeah.
Well, do you want to play us a song?
Yeah, I might have to tune up a little bit.
Well, that's all right.
I've got, let's see. What shall I play for you?
Whatever you feel like. Do you have do you write a lot of your own stuff?
I write all my own stuff.
Awesome.
Which is also interesting for busking. Because sometimes I feel like, you know, I'll end up doing covers a lot for busking.
Do you feel like people respond a little bit to familiar sounds like that?
Definitely. But also, it goes the other way.
Yeah.
You know?
They want to hear something new, too. Yeah. The proverbial they.
The proverbial they. Let's see. What shall I sing for you? I'm guessing cursing is not allowed on the radio.
Yeah, no cursing. No listing prices. No telling people what to do. Okay, I'm
I'm gonna sing you guys a new song that I wrote.
Ooh, a new one. I like new.
It's the song's called Mini Tour.
I'm getting you all set here. I know you got a voice.
This would be a lot nicer if it was a little bit more tuned, so I'm gonna tune it. Sorry for the radio air static or something.
you just,
we'll just keep
take your time. It's not a big deal. And do you have music in your family? Like, how did you get into playing music to begin with?
You know, my dad was this is cool. This is actually really cool. My dad was a doo-wop singer in Brooklyn.
Wow.
And so he kind of raised us listening to doo-wop, rhythm and blues. And I'm from a big family. I'm from a family of 8 kids. There's 8 kids in my family.
Wow.
And so
and where are you in that on
I'm
that
the
totem
third.
pole? Okay.
And I was in a group with my sisters. So happy I tuned this because it was pretty off. Yeah, I'm the third. And me and my sisters were in like a harmony group for a while, so that was definitely inspired. But it was cool because my dad, I would play a lot at Bedford Avenue in Brooklyn. And so when I first started busking, and I told my dad, he was like, I used to busk there when he was doing his doo-wop thing. So that was kind of neat.
It is real neat. It's
Okay.
super neat.
Okay. I believe I'm ready to sing the song. It's gonna be the censored version.
I struck all of the matches, but not the jackpot. I found $5 in this jacket. Haven't worn it in so long. I think the last time was a mini tour in Pennsylvania. We burned some weed and Bible pages. We were smoking songs. We cut up the carpets. I don't think we're welcome in any holidays, and I used to float through the air without a care, and I used to kiss and tear the wishing well. I want to fill my cup. I want to get messed up and not remember you, baby. I find it best to have no expectations these days. It's just another way I'm trying for self-preservation. It's so easy to get lost on a computer screen. I saw your face up on the face and I clicked on it. Went through all your pictures. Went way back. Back when I was tagged. Back when I used to float through the air without a care, and I melted, so I can remember you, baby.
So, where do you get the inspiration for a lot of your songs?
Oh my God. So many places. Everywhere.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, right now I'm living in Joshua Tree, California.
I've driven through there before.
You have?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so the mountains are pretty spectacular and beautiful. Place to draw inspiration from.
Yeah, I go there.
You do?
Yeah.
You know Joshua Tree?
From California.
Oh, you are? Yeah.
In the desert a lot down there.
Yeah. Actually, I have a friend who is a busker who recently passed away, so I'm just giving a shout out to him, Tim Kelly. He was an amazing busker. Busked all around the world.
So, do you think that it's people that inspires you then?
Yeah, definitely. Just, the relationships that you build with people and the experiences that you have that, that create emotion.
Yep. Well, as you've been busking here, are there any performers that have kind of stuck out to you?
I saw the Shifty Drifters, and you were playing with them, and that was awesome. Yeah, you guys were great.
Thanks.
And then I don't really know names, so I saw a kid playing electric guitar yesterday, long red hair. He was excellent. And then I saw a fiddle player and a guitarist, and pretty mind-blowing stuff on the street.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are some good folks around. I get pretty excited when new folks come into town too. Our regulars here, we've got a few regulars that have been coming out for years and years and years. I think Bobby Sachs, he's a saxophone player down here. I think he's our senior straight performer.
Oh, really?
He's been out here the longest. I'm almost 100% sure of that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Derek on hammer dulcimer. I don't know if you ran into him or not, but he's awesome.
So.
He builds his own instruments.
Amazing.
Yeah, and there are a lot of folks that are just pretty consistent that come down, and so I guess as far as new people coming in, we're just trying to chat with folks and make sure everybody's on the same page, which usually goes pretty well.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working so far.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like the communication in other places that you've played is similar?
Like busking-wise?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not been a radio show for buskers where I've busked before, so
This is kind of a special deal.
this is definitely, yeah.
WPVM is really, really kind to the busking culture here in the busking scene, and we're really blessed to have WPVM on our side.
Awesome.
So, thank you, WPVM, for letting us do this. Yeah, I mean, and the whole point of this show is pretty much, you know, to put a name to it. You know, so especially, you know, and especially when it comes to some of the regular performers here, because because recently I had somebody coming up to me and said, "Hey, I heard your show on this person. I had been walking by for years and never knew that we had so much in common." You know, and this is a person that doesn't regularly stop and talk to folks on the street ever, you know. And I don't mean like on the street, I mean like outside of their bubble.
Right.
So, that's what it is. It's about dispelling some of the rumors and misunderstandings that surround busking, because there's a lot of misconceptions about what exactly busking is. And pretty much the definition of busking is just to play music and, you know, and hope for tips outside and hope for tips. That's pretty much what it is. You know, tips by edibles or money or, you know, anything.
Letters.
Yeah. You know.
Poems.
Yeah, I really, really enjoy it when people put pictures, like draw stuff and put pictures and stuff in case. That's like one of my favorites. I have a bunch at home. I really like that.
You're like, you have them all saved.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Have you gotten any strange busking tips?
Oh, yeah. I've definitely gotten some letters and poems, and somebody gave me like this humongous piece of labradorite once, which was like just pretty sweet tip to put in there. Somebody gave me a bundle of sage. Yeah, which actually was cool because earlier in the day I was like wanting to go to a store to buy sage, and then somebody came and tipped me. Yeah, it was really sweet. Yeah, I guess people have this one time, and maybe this is a misconception, but this girl came up and she was just like, she was like, "Are you really hungry?" And then she like went to give me her food, and I was like, "Actually, I'm full." And then I looked at the box, and it was one of like the most expensive places in New York, like leftovers, and I was like, "Sweet, I'll take that." Like, awesome. Like, some fancy food. Yes, I'm hungry.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, folks. Sometimes that's what I was saying about the difference in the attitudes per landscape to landscape. Like here, you say I'm a street performer. A lot of folks just immediately assume, "Oh, well, you're eccentric. That's neat," you know. But in some other cities, if you say you're a street performer, they're checking their pockets and say, "No, I don't have any change."
Right. Yeah.
And, you know,
Yes.
but that's not what it is.
Right.
It's not what it is at all. Here we've got, you know, we've got lots of kids coming down and busking now, you know, and that, you know, are they immediately assumed homeless?
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Totally.
And that's the thing. Just because they're homeless folks busking doesn't mean that everybody's homeless.
Right. And I think that's like amazing for like, you know, if you're homeless and you have an instrument with you, you have a way in which you can make money without, you know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and you know, and that's another thing. I had a friend of mine come up to me on the street, this busker, and he said, "You know, we were busking all day, and you know, we didn't even make, you know, we only made a few bucks, and then my friend was running around panhandling all day, and he made, you know, money hand over fist, and I'm wondering if I should just start panhandling."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's so sad. Don't
Yep.
do that. Don't do
Yeah.
that."
Yeah.
you know, and people don't realize how hard it is for performers, and especially if you are trying to be a full-time performer. Now, in no way, shape, or form does anybody owe the street performers anything. You know, it is customary and polite to tip for photos.
Yes.
But it's not mandatory.
It's not, yeah.
And they don't owe you for that photo. And you're putting yourself out there. And that's just the truth of it. You know? Photographers, you know, they deserve to be able to take pictures of what they want in public. And that's the truth. So, you know, that being said...
I think about busking like a public service.
Yeah.
You know? It's like...
Yeah.
I'm going to share my music with you.
Right, and you hope that enough folks appreciate it enough to where you can generate somewhat of an income. And if you're not generating somewhat of an income doing what you're doing, then my suggestion is to add or take away something and adjust what you're doing and see if that helps. And it's kind of an organic process if you're new at it. And some folks come out and just realize it's just not for them. And some folks come out and it's the best thing ever, and they are going to be lifetime buskers, and that is it for them.
Yeah.
I'm never working a regular job again.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how I was.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Let's do another song.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You got a title?
Yes. You know what? I'm gonna sing you guys a song that I just recorded an EP called Sibling Rivalry, and the song's called Palmistry. It's on the EP.
Carving lines in my palms to change my fate. Step into the moonlight so I can see your face. 'Cause the desert is calling me to be still. Right on the fault line gives me such a thrill, and the desert stole my love away. And I watch you leave one eye roll at a time, and the desert held you even when you were mine, even when you were mine. Carving lines in my palms to change my fate. Move to another country. It is not too late, and the desert is calling me to be still. Right on the fault line gives me such a thrill, and the desert stole my love away. Even though I begged for it to let him stay, please let him stay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
When did you write that one?
Probably last July.
Last July?
Yeah, about a year ago.
On your EP, when was that recorded?
I started recording it last June. And I finished recording it, I guess, November. And I did a lot of recording, left and traveled, came back, finished recording, left and traveled, came back, got it mastered, and so it was about a year process from start to finish.
You got 7 tunes here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So folks, where can they find them?
If you go to AnnaChristieMusic.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
AnnaChristieMusic.com, folks. If you're interested in finding more of Anna Christie, that's where you go.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be archiving and posting the show later if you want to listen again. And hopefully you're going to be visiting her website.
Yeah. Check it out. Facebook and Instagram, YouTube.
So you're going back up north?
From here, you could say that. I'll be going to, playing some shows in New York City and playing some shows in Philadelphia, and then I'm going to go to Europe and play over there and busk over there. Ireland's great for busking.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Hmm?
I believe it or not, I've never been overseas to busk. I did the whole freight riding thing, and I've done the majority of the main states, but never Hawaii, never Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
And I accidentally went to Mexico once, but that's a totally different story.
I busted in Mexico.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was great, actually. It was awesome.
So were the attitudes there similar as here? Like, I mean,
It seemed very appreciated.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily, it wasn't appreciated necessarily by tips, but by smiles. Like, everyone's very happy you were there, but not necessarily piling the pesos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sometimes things just seem to centralize around certain areas, it seems like. And you can try to push a city into being an artistic town, but if it's not geared for such, it's not going to work. Because what happens then is Nashville.
Nashville.
Where you got this mix where people are really trying to say, well, we're an artistic, creative, musical place, but it's made in China, cookie cutter, sticky on the shelf with everybody else. You better be wearing embroidered pants or hang your wallet chain. Yeah, it's very cookie cutter.
Yeah, I haven't really spent too much time there. I did busk on the street there once.
It's so loud down there.
Oh, it was so loud.
Oh, jeez.
It was really
so
loud.
Yeah, and a lot of that's because the bars are taking their monitor speakers and flooding them out into the street. And then last night, I'm walking down Patton, and I noticed that a couple of the bars were starting to do that, and my heart just sank.
You're like, no.
Yeah, my heart sank because it just ruins the vibe. It just ruins it. It ruins it. I mean, you don't have to be broadcasting into the street. And so in Nashville, it just ends up being this huge issue. And so you end up with folks coming out with amps trying to go over that noise, and then the guy next to them is trying to go over their noise, and then the guy across the street is trying to beat out both of them, and it becomes amp wars, and it's this
Amp
huge
wars.
issue. Yeah, no, I'm serious.
Yeah.
It's a huge issue.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, do you feel like New York has this similar kind of stuff going on? Or
no.
have you ever tried New Orleans?
I was just about, I was actually going to ask you about it, because I've never been to New Orleans. Believe it or not, I barely believe that I haven't been there, because I've heard so much about the busking, and I've never been. Love to go. Absolutely love to go. Hope I get there soon. Why? What's it like? Is it too competitive for busking?
It is extremely competitive. I don't want to say it's too competitive.
All right.
You definitely have to have a thicker skin for it.
Mm-hmm.
So Royal Street is the street where a lot of the bands set up. And if you want a spot on Royal Street, especially when it gets starting, you know, in the springtime, you know, you got Mardi Gras and all that stuff coming up. Folks are getting down there and they're either sleeping in their cars at the spot or they're getting down there at 2, 3, 4 in the morning during Mardi Gras and 6, 5, 6 in the morning otherwise to get those spots. It's that competitive.
Wow.
And then you can't even start playing until 11. And so by the time you even start playing, you're just like,
right.
You're already exhausted. But the noise ordinance there, you have to stop playing on Royal Street at 8 p.m.
Really?
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's even earlier.
Wow.
And a lot of that's because of the hotels and the living spaces above Royal Street. It's kind of a mixed zoning kind of thing. Here we also have mixed zoning, where you have apartments above businesses, next to
Right.
industrial. But in which is the same as New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And so the noise zoning ends up being a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Hotels and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if you get off of that main drag and off of Royal Street, the competitiveness drastically drops. As long as you're staying away from Royal Street and the Jackson Square area, you can always find a place to fit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm telling you this, but I don't want to scare you off from it either.
Can't scare me off.
It is what it is, though. And,
Yeah.
something else I tell people is just because I've had a bad experience in a certain city
Right.
doesn't mean that your experience is
Exactly.
going to be a bad experience.
Yeah, totally.
Everybody's experience in every single city is completely different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you don't know unless you go.
Yeah, totally.
I'm hoping you make it there so you can check it out. And Boulder's great, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Boulder's a great busk. Denver, it's legal to busk. You just have to find the spot, and I'll tell you where the secret squirrel spot is if you want to
secret
know. But
spot,
I'm not telling it over air. If you want to know, you're going to have to find me and ask me.
That's awesome. I just stumbled into treasure over here.
But yeah, and the Santa Fe's a $30 permit.
Okay.
And it's worth it
I bet.
to get the $30 permit. Chicago is a $100 permit.
Ooh.
Key West is also a $100 permit.
Ooh.
And Savannah is a free permit that requires a complete criminal background check, plus a 2-week wait, plus they want you to follow a specific dress code, plus you have to wear a badge, plus.
That doesn't sound
But
so fun.
meanwhile, over the last few years, they've made it legal in Charleston. And Charleston is a good place, and they've got some good tourism, and there's some really, really great street performers down there. Glenn the Busker, if you are listening online, and hopefully you key in every now and then, thank you for doing a great job of taking care of Charleston, and I really greatly appreciate it. He about single-handedly made it legal again.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
So thank you, Glenn.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I really hope you get around.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of places I would love to check out.
Wait, I want to hear another song. Can we do that?
Another?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What
Very
to play?
badly. Yeah, what was that last one called again?
That was called Palmistry.
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 And what's this one called?
Well, I'm debating if I should play a song called The Man.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
We might have time for 2 songs if you feel like playing both.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be nice to sing you guys something, an older one and maybe another one from my EP.
Yeah.
So, I'll sing you guys The Man, which is inspired by living a life that is free.
Oh, the cars fly by me while I'm on my horse and buggy, and I use no gasoline or electricity. Oh, I live by the land. Oh, I live by the land. Oh, the wind in my sail, out here all alone on the water. Fish are like people to me. Oh, I live by the sea. No one to bother me. Eh, 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 eh. Eh, 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 eh. Eh, 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 eh. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, the day just breaks me. 10 years I've worked and lived in the city, and it is such a pity. Oh, I live for the man, so very far from the land. Oh, I live for the man. Oh, I live for the man.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, so yeah, that's more, you know, music around your surroundings. I think that's the best music. You know what I mean? Like, where it comes from, personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
straight personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you can feel it beyond what the. I mean, I don't even know how to put that to words.
Uh-huh.
I don't do a lot of songwriting.
Okay.
I do a lot of song studying.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, personal songs are more of what I tend to gravitate to and don't turn the radio off of.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So I guess that's more what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So the song off your EP that you were wanting to play.
Well, I guess I could sing Sibling Rivalry.
Yeah. 8 siblings, or 8, one of 8, right?
I'm one of 8.
One of 8.
I was in a band with my sisters for a long time. I love all my siblings. Sibling rivalry, it's a real thing.
Yeah, see, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Personal experience. I'm the middle kid of 3 and the only adopted one.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yep.
That's right.
In the middle. In the middle.
So there's a little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about 8 kids. Your parents.
I don't know how they did it.
God bless them.
I know. They have been through some things.
Perfect.
Okay. I usually play the song on an electric guitar, but we'll give it a whirl. Okay. In the backyard we dug holes, looking for treasure. All the neighborhood kids were on our side. We had gold in our hearts, we had gold in our eyes. But I always wanted my own spot. You always got what I did not. Sibling rivalry. Let's dance again. Be my sister. Be my friend. Melted crayons by the heater, rainbow fingerprints on the wall. We drew doors that open a land we all saw. How I miss you all, but I always wanted my own spot, and I always got what you did not. Sibling rivalry. Let's dance again. Be my brother. Be my friend. Sibling rivalry. Be my sister, be my friend. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh,
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll be playing. We're gonna stick some of your EP in our automate system here, so folks here can be listening.
Thank you.
And next time you're
Awesome.
heading back, let me know, and maybe we can have you in for an update. And
Be so cool.
you know, and anytime if you're booking shows here, definitely let us know. And, you know, Well, you know, and other folks, if you know, this is a busking show. If you are a busker and feel like you would like to have your voice heard, please let us know, because that's what we're here for. We want to create this community and make it easier for everybody through communication. And that's step one. So if you also are a busker with MP3s and so on and so forth, stories to tell, and it's not limited to music. If you're a juggler, if you are, you know, a magician, you know, if you want to come in and talk about what you do, you are not left out whatsoever. So, you know, come and talk, tell us what you do. You know, folks who are doing typewriter busking, you know, doing poetry.
Oh, yeah.
You know, come in and write us some poetry, and let's do some poetry readings, things like that. It's totally okay. Just come on in. So, yeah, folks, you are listening to 103.7 FM in Asheville, and you can listen to us online at wpvmfm.org. Otherwise, you can go to AnnaChristie.com and music.com and find some Anna Christie stuff. We will be posting this and her links on our sites coming up so that you can also find it there. And what other announcements do we have? Asheville Buskers Collective. Our meeting is Tuesday mornings at 10:30 in the morning at New Mountain, Asheville, downtown, upstairs. If you cannot make it to such meeting and you have something to say, that's okay. You can send us a note, let us know, we can read it to the group, you know what I mean? And any way to get us your thoughts, opinions, ideas. If you like what we're doing, if you don't like what we're doing, if you think we could do it better, none of this matters unless you tell us. So just tell us. I'm serious. That's why we're here. We're talking about voices, you know, trying to shed some light on some of the dark spots where the misunderstanding's happening. Yeah. And we can't shed any light on nothing unless we get the flashlights out and start poking. All right. So, yeah, Busker Broadcast is on Facebook. The Buskers Collective is on Facebook. Spoon Lady's on Facebook. You're on Facebook, right?
Yep. Facebook.
Anna Christie is also on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, which you probably are, hook into all of it. And WPVM is also on Facebook. Thank you for letting us do this. So yeah, once again, you're listening to WPVM 103.7 FM in Asheville, and you can listen to us online at wpvmfm.org. You got any shout-outs?
I just want to say thank you so much for doing what you're doing and letting me come up and do it.
Sure.
Really, really, thank you so much.
I like having fun.
Me too.
So yeah, let us know next time you're here, and we'll get you plugged in.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess we're gonna take you back to your local programming, folks. And I think Tom Hartman's supposed to be coming on next. And we'll talk to you later. So have an awesome afternoon. Tune in again at 4 o'clock. We're going to be having a couple more buskers coming in at 4 to 6 today. And we'll see you then. You'll hear us then.
You'll hear.
All right.